All right, welcome back to Turtle World. I'm here in my boxers, ready to game. Sitting up wild and free. Woo! Let's fucking go! Fuck.
Hey there, listeners. Zappo tuning in with some elvish escapades. Let's talk tall trees, pointy ears, and unexpected plunges. Once I spent a week in Darnassus trying to understand their culture. Did you know they don't appreciate being called pointy-eared tree huggers? Learned that the hard way when they gave an express trip up after a hill. It took us a solid 5 minutes to reach the water. Good thing I wore my floaties.
Back to where I died last time. Let's see if I can far better. Oh, better this time. All right.
took a trip to Silithus. Now, sand everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean everywhere. You'll be picking it out for weeks. Don't even get me started on the bugs.
Arathor and the Troll Wars. The Grand Human Kingdom. As the High Elves fought for their lives against the Trolls' fierce onslaught, the scattered nomadic humans of Lordaeron fought to consolidate their own tribal lands. The tribes of early humanity raided each other's settlements with little heed for racial unification or honor. Yet one tribe, known as the Arathi, saw that the Trolls were becoming too great a threat to ignore. The Arathi wished to bring all of the tribes under its rule so that they could provide a unified front against the Troll warbands. Over the course of 6 years, the cunning Arathi outmaneuvered and outfought the rival tribes. After every victory, the Arathi offered peace and equality to the conquered people. Thus, they won the loyalty of those they had beaten. Eventually, the Arathi tribe came to include many disparate tribes, and the ranks of its army grew vast. Confident that they could hold their own against the Troll warbands, or even the reclusive elves if need be, the Arathi warlords decided to construct a mighty fortress city in the southern regions of Lordaeron. The city-state, named Strom, became the capital of the Arathi nation, Arathor. As Arathor prospered, humans from all over the vast continent traveled south to the protection and safety of Strom. United under one banner, the human tribes developed a strong, optimistic culture. Thoradin, the king of Arathor, knew that the mysterious elves in the Northlands were under constant siege by the Trolls, but refused to risk the safety of his people in defense of reclusive strangers. Many months passed as rumors of the elves' supposed defeat trickled down from the north. It was only when wary ambassadors from Quel'Thalas reached Strom that Thoradin realized how great the troll threat truly was. The elves informed Thoradin that the troll armies were vast, and that once the trolls had destroyed Quel'Thalas, they would move on to attack the Southlands. The desperate elves, in dire need of military aid, hastily agreed to teach certain select humans to wield magic in exchange for their help against the warbands. Thoradin, distrustful of any magic, agreed to aid the elves out of necessity. Almost immediately, elven sorcerers arrived in Arathor and began to instruct a group of humans in the ways of magic. The elves found that although humans were innately clumsy in their handling of magic, they possessed a startling natural affinity for it. 100 men were taught the very basics of elves' magical secrets, no more than was absolutely necessary to combat the trolls. Convinced that their human students were ready to aid in the struggle, the elves left Strom and traveled north alongside the mighty armies of King Thoradin. The united elf and human armies clashed against the overwhelming troll warbands at the foot of the Alterac Mountains. The battle lasted for many days, but the unflagging armies of Arathor never tired or gave an inch of ground before the troll onslaught. The elven lords deemed that the time had come to release the powers of their magic upon the enemy. The 100 human magi and a multitude of elven sorcerers called down the fury of the heavens and set the troll armies ablaze. The elemental fires prevented the trolls from regenerating their wounds and burned their tortured forms from the inside out. As the troll armies broke and attempted to flee, Thoradin's armies ran them down and slaughtered every last one of their soldiers. The trolls would never fully recover from their defeat, and history would never see the trolls rise as one nation again. Assured that Quel'Thalas was saved from destruction, the elves made a pledge of loyalty and friendship to the nation of Arathor and to the bloodline of its king Thoradin. Humans and elves would nurture peaceful relations for ages to come.
Ladies, gents, and goblins, it's advertisement o'clock. Ever wondered how to get your stuff heard by folks who probably want to buy it? Everlook Broadcasting Co. is here for you. Now, let's get to the good stuff.
The products you never knew you needed.
Greetings!
Feeling your meals are a bit bland lately? Spice it up with Zogurub zesty spices. Harvested straight from the heart of Stranglethorn, our blend will transport your taste buds straight to the jungles. Once you try it, every bite will have you shouting, "Yeah, man, that's the spirit!"
Greetings, commoners of Azeroth. Must you persist with your mundane beverages? Elevate your taste with Sunwell Invigorating Tea. So potent, you'll forget what a mana potion even is.
of the Spider. Unearthing Horrors. While Thrall was liberating his brethren in Lordaeron, Ner'zhul continued to build up his power base in Northrend. A great citadel was erected above the Icecrown Glacier and manned by the growing legions of the dead. Yet, as the Lich King extended his influence over the land, one shadowy empire stood against his power. The ancient subterranean kingdom of Azhol Nerub, which had been founded by a race of sinister humanoid spiders, sent their elite warrior guard to attack Icecrown and end the Lich King's mad bid for dominance. Much to his frustration, Ner'zhul found that the evil Nerubians were immune not only to the plague, but to his telepathic domination as well. The Nerubian Spider Lords commanded vast forces and had an underground network that stretched nearly half the breadth of Northrend. Their hit-and-run tactics on the Lich King's strongholds stymied his efforts to root them out time after time. Ultimately, Ner'zhul's war against the Nerubians was won by attrition. With the aid of the sinister Dreadlords and innumerable undead warriors, the Lich King invaded Azhol Nerub and brought its subterranean temples crashing down upon the Spider Lords' heads. Though the Nerubians were immune to his plague, Ner'zhul's growing necromantic powers allowed him to raise the Spider Warriors' corpses and bend them to his will. As a testament to their tenacity and fearlessness, Ner'zhul adopted the Nerubians' distinctive architectural style for his own fortresses and structures. Left to rule his kingdom unopposed, the Lich King began preparing for his true mission in the world. Reaching out into the human lands with his vast consciousness, the Lich King called out to any dark soul that would listen.
With tunes that'll stick in your head and messages so neat, our ads will have you tapping your feet to the beat.
Feel the ground tremble, warriors. Our elemental necklaces are your link to the primal forces of the earth, fire, and air. With these necklaces, you'll bring power to the Horde like never before. Wear them with pride and let the elements guide you to victory.
Tired of the constant racket of Horde members taking the scenic route down from Thunderbluff? Yearning for some peace and quiet amid the plunge? Look no further. Thunderbluff Serenity earplugs are here to help. Just pop them in, and suddenly the world transforms into a tranquil haven. Whether you're napping or simply seeking a break from the dive bombers, we've got your ears covered. Get your pair now and savor the serenity amidst the skydiving mayhem.
Salutations, seekers of knowledge. The Arcane Wonders Academy invites you to unlock the secrets of the arcane arts. Our distinguished instructors will guide you in harnessing the power of magic, just as we have done for generations. Join us and embrace your destiny as a student of the arcane. Aftermath of the Second War, remaining ashes. The devastating Second War against the Orcish Horde left the alliance of Lordaeron in a state of shock and disarray. The bloodthirsty Orcs, led by the mighty war chief, Orgrim Doomhammer, not only smashed their way Khazmodan, but had razed many of Lordaeron's central provinces as well. The unrelenting Orcs even succeeded in ravaging the elves' remote kingdom of Quel'Tha Lost before their rampage was finally stopped. The Alliance armies led by Sir Anduin Lothar, Uther the Lightbringer, and Admiral Dalen Proudmoore pushed the Orcs south into the shattered land of Azeroth, the first kingdom to fall before the Orcs' ruthless onslaught. The Alliance forces under Sir Lothar managed to push Doomhammer's clans out of Lordaeron and back into the Orc-controlled lands of Azeroth. Lothar's forces surrounded the Orcs' volcanic citadel of Blackrock Spire and laid siege to their defences. In a last-ditch effort, Doomhammer and his lieutenants staged a daring charge from the spire and clashed with Lothar's paladins in the centre of the burning steppes. Doomhammer and Lothar squared off in a titanic battle that left both mighty combatants battered and drained. But Doomhammer narrowly succeeded in vanquishing Lothar. The great hero's death did not have the effect war chief had hoped for. Turtlon, Lothar's most trusted lieutenant, took up Lothar's blood-stained shield and rallied his grief-stricken brethren for a vicious counterattack. Under the ragged standards of both Lordaeron and Azeroth, Turtlon's troops slaughtered the bulk of Doomhammer's remaining forces in a glorious but terrible rout. There was nothing left for the ravaged, scattered Orc survivors but to flee to the last standing bastion of Orcish power, the Dark Portal. Turtlon and his warriors chased the remaining Orcs through the festering swamp of sorrows and into the corrupted, blasted lands where the Dark Portal stood. There, at the foot of the colossal portal, the broken Horde and the ragged Alliance clashed in what would be the last, bloodiest battle of the Second War. Outnumbered and driven mad by the curse of their bloodlust, the Orcs inevitably fell before the wrath of the Alliance. Doomhammer was taken prisoner and escorted to Lordaeron, while his broken clans were rounded up and hauled north, back to Lordaeron.
The Guardians of Tirisfal, Legacy of Sorcery, read to you by Rograg Fishslayer. With the absence of trolls in the Northlands, the elves of Quel'Thalas bent their efforts towards rebuilding their glorious homeland. The victorious armies of Arathor returned home to Southlands of Strom. The human society of Arathor grew and prospered, yet Thoradin, fearful that his kingdom would splinter apart if it overextended itself, maintained that Strom was the center of the Arathorian Empire. After many peaceful years of growth and commerce, mighty Thoradin departed on one final quest, never to return, leaving Arathor's younger generation free to expand the empire beyond the lands of Strom. The original 100 Magi, who were tutored in the ways of magic by the elves, expanded their powers and studied the mystic disciplines of spellweaving in much greater detail. These Magi, initially chosen for their strong wills and noble spirits, had always practiced their magic with care and responsibility. However, they passed their secrets and powers onto a newer generation that had no concept of the rigors of war or the necessity for self-restraint. These younger magicians began to practice magic for personal gain rather than out of any responsibility towards their fellows. As the empire grew and expanded into new lands, the young magicians also spread out into the Southlands. Wielding their mystical powers, the magicians protected their brethren from the wild creatures of the land and made it possible for new city-states to be constructed in the wilderness. Yet, as their powers grew, the magicians became ever more conceited and isolated from the rest of society. The second Arathorian city-state of Dalaran was founded in the lands north of Strom. Many fledgling wizards left the restraining confines of Strom behind and traveled to Dalaran, where they hoped to use their new powers with greater freedom. These magicians used their skills to build up enchanted spires of Dalaran and reveled in the pursuit of their studies. The citizens of Dalaran tolerated the magicians' endeavors and built up a bustling economy under the protection of their magic-using defenders. Yet, as more and more magicians practiced their arts, the fabric of reality around Dalaran began to weaken and tear. The sinister agents of the Burning Legion, who had been banished when the Well of Eternity collapsed, were lured back into the world by the heedless spellcasting of the magicians of Dalaran. Though these relatively weak demons did not appear in force, they did sow considerable confusion and chaos within the streets of Dalaran. Most of these demonic encounters were isolated events, and the ruling magicrats did what they could to keep such events hidden from the public. The most powerful magicians were sent to capture the elusive demons, but they often found themselves hopelessly outmatched by the lone agents of the mighty Legion. After a few months, the superstitious peasantry began to suspect that their sorceress rulers were hiding something terrible from them. Rumors of revolution began to sweep through the streets of Dalaran as the paranoid citizenry questioned the motives and practice of the magicians they had once admired. The magicrats, fearing that the peasants would revolt and that Strom would take actions against them, turned to the only group they felt would understand their particular problem, the elves. Upon hearing the magicrats' news of demonic activity in Dalaran, the elves quickly dispatched their mightiest wizards to the human lands. The elven wizards studied the energy currents in Dalaran and made detailed reports of all demonic activity that they beheld. They concluded that although there were few demons loose in the world, the Legion itself would remain a dire threat so long as humans continued to wield the forces of magic. The Council of Silvermoon, which ruled over the elves of Quel'Thalas, entered into a secret pact with the magicrat lords of Dalaran. The elves told the magicrats about the history of ancient Kalimdor and of the Burning Legion, a history which still threatened the world. They informed the humans that so long as they used magic, they would need to protect their citizenry from the malicious agents of the Legion. The magicrats proposed the notion of empowering a single mortal champion who would utilize their powers in order to fight a never-ending secret war against the Legion. It was stressed that the majority of mankind would never know about the Guardians or the threat of the Legion for fear that they would riot in fear and paranoia. The elves agreed to the proposal and founded a secret society that would watch over the selection of the Guardian and help to stem the rise of chaos in the world. The society held its secret meetings in the shadowed Tirisfal Glades, where the High Elves had first settled in Lordaeron. Thus, they named the secret sect the Guardians of Tirisfal. The mortal champions who were chosen to be guardians were imbued with incredible powers of both elven and human magic. Though there would only ever be one guardian at a time, they held such vast power that they could single-handedly fight back the Legion's agents wherever they were found in the world. The Guardian power was so great that only the Council of Tirisfal was allowed to choose potential successors to the mantle of guardianship. Whenever a Guardian grew too old, or wearied of the secret war against chaos, the Council chose a new champion and, under controlled conditions, formally channeled the Guardian power into its new agent. As the generations passed, Guardians defended the masses of humanity from the invisible threat of the Burning Legion throughout the lands of Arathor and Quel'Thalas. Arathor grew and prospered while the use of magic spread throughout the Empire. Meanwhile, the Guardians kept careful watch for signs of demonic activity.